There are many ways to measure success in the entertainment world: album sales, chart performance, brand value, or the scale of influence that moves millions of people at once. But Jungkook has surpassed all traditional measurements. His name alone has become a currency, his presence a form of capital that multiplies on its own. Every step, every appearance, every frame where his face appears carries value that extends far beyond music or performance. Jungkook's wealth isn't just a number, it's the visible result of a system he silently built through perfection, timing, and an understanding of global momentum that no idol before him has ever controlled this precisely. The moment Jungkook's solo career began to move independently, the balance in global pop economics shifted. Brands started measuring visibility, not in impressions, but in Jungkook seconds, the duration his image stays in public view and converts into profit. His name became a standalone marketing model. The reason is simple: Jungkook doesn't sell products. He sells the idea of ideal presence. That's why every campaign he touches doesn't just succeed, it restructures the market's behavior. When Jungkook was announced as Calvin Klein's global ambassador, analysts initially projected a temporary surge in brand awareness. What followed, however, was a complete recalibration of consumer data. The brand's digital traffic surged by over 10% globally in a single day. Search results for Calvin Klein Jungkook dominated Google and Weibo simultaneously, two platforms that rarely intersect in cultural trends. Within 72 hours, Jungkook had generated what some brands take months to achieve: over $20 million in media impact value, and that was only the beginning. From this moment onward, his economic identity evolved beyond that of a global idol. Jungkook turned into a hybrid figure artist, entrepreneur, digital phenomenon, and luxury equity. Calculating his daily income requires more than a financial breakdown. It requires understanding how each of his appearances multiplies across industries simultaneously. To measure Jungkook's true daily income, one has to view it as a multi-layered stream. His revenue is not limited to music royalties or brand contracts. It spreads through influence cycles, digital traction, brand revaluation, and residual fan market engagement. These cycles occur daily, meaning even when Jungkook sleeps, his name is still producing value. Industry experts estimate that from his endorsement deals alone, Jungkook generates around $60,000, $80,000 per day, depending on global activity. This doesn't account for streaming revenue, intellectual property rights, or his share in corporate partnerships. Add his music royalties, both from solo works and BTS catalog income, and that number easily doubles. The conservative calculation already places his daily earnings between $120,000 to $160,000. But that's the financial surface. The intangible value: brand trust, algorithmic retention, digital repeatability, raises it even further. When you include the compound effect of social media exposure and global brand circulation, the estimated economic influence value easily crosses $1 million per day in measurable media weight. What makes Jungkook distinct from any idol in history is not just how much he earns, but how he earns it. His structure doesn't rely on overexposure. Instead, it relies on controlled silence, calculated visibility, and moments designed to explode naturally. He understands that attention is a currency with inflation. Spend it too fast, and it devalues. Jungkook spends it slowly, precisely, and only when the world isn't ready, so that every release, post, or public appearance hits with full impact. That strategy converts into exponential returns, both in relevance and revenue. Jungkook's financial structure mirrors his artistic one, organized, restrained, and constantly evolving. Each collaboration he takes is a layer of influence added on top of the previous one, never replacing, always expanding. Unlike idols who depend solely on company management, Jungkook designs his own trajectory within global parameters. This autonomy is where his wealth multiplies. It's the difference between being paid for performance and owning the performance itself. When Calvin Klein renewed their campaign featuring Jungkook, they didn't just shoot a new visual, they restructured their annual global strategy around his release cycle. That meant every quarter aligned with Jungkook's calendar. It's a level of alignment no other idol has ever achieved. Through it, Jungkook indirectly controls how a billion-dollar fashion house schedules its digital rhythm. This level of influence can't be priced with a standard endorsement fee. It's an equity-level presence, and it's exactly how his wealth exceeds all previous idols. Historically, wealth among idols was tied to physical metrics, concert tours, album sales, merchandise. Jungkook broke that equation. He operates in the era of intangible value, where virality converts to profit faster than ticket sales ever could. One social post from Jungkook can shift market focus instantly. For instance, when he casually shared a photo wearing a specific perfume or outfit, that item sold out within hours across multiple countries. This phenomenon repeats endlessly, creating a feedback loop of profit that continues even without direct promotion. That is how his daily income sustains itself even when he's inactive publicly. The difference lies in perception. Fans, brands, and investors view Jungkook as a trust-based index. He doesn't just represent taste, he defines it. That definition powers a self-sustaining market. Analysts from major agencies in Seoul and New York have noted that Jungkook's brand power doesn't fluctuate with his appearances. It holds steady, sometimes even grows during his absence. That means his income doesn't pause. It flows continuously, independent of traditional engagement cycles. In global entertainment economics, that's the rarest form of wealth possible, autonomous influence. To put this in context, most top-tier idols operate under revenue dependency, meaning their peak income occurs during active promotion. Once a tour ends or a comeback cycle closes, income flow stabilizes or declines. Jungkook dismantled that system entirely. His earnings are continuous because his brand is alive digitally. Whether it's Spotify streams from 7, YouTube ad revenue from his solo performances, or renewed brand exposure each time his Calvin Klein videos trend, the revenue machine never stops. Even in military hiatus or low-activity seasons, his catalog continues to generate millions monthly. Consider this. Jungkook's 7 alone reached over 1 billion streams within months, placing it among Spotify's most profitable tracks of its year. With per-stream royalties and distribution shares, that translates into several $1,000,000 from one song. Divide that annual amount into daily averages, and it already surpasses what most idols earn monthly. Add in brand collaborations, appearance royalties, performance rights, and global redistribution, his earnings multiply at a pace that outpaces inflation. The key isn't just scale, it's efficiency. Jungkook doesn't need 100 projects to generate wealth. One move creates waves that ripple for months. Jungkook's image is his strongest asset. Unlike traditional celebrities who rely on marketing campaigns to maintain relevance, his natural appeal does the work of entire advertising departments. His visual identity, clean, neutral, but magnetically powerful, translates across regions without modification. That's why Western and Asian markets respond equally strongly to his presence. This rare universality amplifies his profitability. A single brand photo can dominate both Korean and American timelines simultaneously, making him the only global idol whose name operates as a universal keyword. This universal language of image is why companies are willing to pay beyond standard rates. Jungkook doesn't just lend face value, he lends narrative value. His campaigns tell silent stories that build emotional trust without scripted dialogue. The outcome is measurable. Conversions increase, brand recall strengthens, and customer loyalty spikes. These are the unseen economics behind his daily income intangibles that manifest in real financial terms. What also defines Jungkook's economic mastery is his control over rarity. He understands that overexposure dilutes power, so he limits appearances, making each one feel monumental. That scarcity translates to market demand. Every new release or sighting triggers a global surge in searches, posts, and discussions. That instant virality isn't accidental, it's engineered through discipline. Jungkook knows when to vanish and when to return. That rhythm ensures his name never leaves the collective conversation, but also never becomes ordinary. In branding, scarcity increases value. In Jungkook's case, controlled scarcity amplifies legacy. Each reappearance resets public focus entirely. This is why even short clips of him at an airport can dominate headlines for days. Each frame functions as a luxury commodity, limited, desired, irreplaceable. The result? Consistent spikes in revenue without constant labor. It's not work-based income. It's presence-based income. When analyzing Jungkook's financial landscape, one must consider the layers invisible to the public. There are corporate partnerships, intellectual rights, and brand royalties that extend beyond entertainment. Insiders in the Korean business world often describe Jungkook's economic role as silent equity. His name adds brand valuation just by association. This phenomenon parallels how billionaires' influence shapes market perception. Yet Jungkook achieves it through artistry, not corporate leverage. That's the distinction that makes his wealth historically unmatched among idols. It's not only that Jungkook earns more, it's that he redefines how idols can earn. Traditional idols depended on agencies, companies, and external systems. Jungkook built a network where companies depend on him. That inversion of power marks the beginning of a new entertainment economy, one centered not around institutions, but individuals who carry their own ecosystems. His wealth is both result and symbol of that transformation. Even with astronomical numbers attached to his name, Jungkook shows no sign of plateauing. Each project expands his global base, not just in fan count, but in business connections. His financial reach now covers multiple markets: music, fashion, streaming, digital advertising, and global merchandising. This diversification guarantees financial stability at levels idols previously couldn't reach. Where others relied on temporary fame, Jungkook's system relies on compounded continuity. Every 24 hours, Jungkook's global activity translates into a digital storm. Hundreds of millions of mentions, reposts, clips, and data points. Each of those actions holds advertising value. Brands monitor it, algorithms record it, and companies profit from it. Within that constant flow, Jungkook's personal equity rises. His daily income isn't simply money earned, it's value accumulated. That's why his net worth continues to expand even during quiet periods. His silence works harder than others' promotion. Every era has a figure who redefines the industry standard. Jungkook did it without public declaration. He didn't need to show mansions, cars, or luxury items to prove value. His proof exists in market behavior. When his name trends, brands rise. When he wears something, it sells out. When he posts, platforms crash. Each action proves his economic dominance. He's not chasing numbers, numbers chase him. His silence isn't emptiness, it's control. By staying unpredictable, he resets the rhythm of global attention. Every time he returns, it feels like a re-entry of a legend, not a continuation of a schedule. That's why every move feels bigger, every moment heavier, every brand collaboration monumental. The world doesn't consume Jungkook, it waits for him. And in that waiting, money flows endlessly. If you divide his estimated net worth into daily segments, the number is staggering. Even by conservative standards, Jungkook's financial ecosystem moves anywhere between $1 to $2 million daily when combining direct income, digital traffic value, and brand influence. This isn't about how much he's paid, it's about how much his existence is worth in circulation. No idol before has reached that scale of passive power. And yet, Jungkook operates with calm precision. He's not driven by urgency, he builds continuity, not chaos. That's why his empire feels permanent, because it's not built on trends, but on principles. Control, rarity, and perfection. These are the cornerstones of wealth that lasts. What makes Jungkook's story remarkable is that it's still unfolding. His influence hasn't peaked. His career, still young by industry standards, continues to climb while most idols' trajectories start to flatten. The difference is structural. Jungkook doesn't depend on the industry's timing. The industry depends on his. Every new release, endorsement, or public appearance rewrites benchmarks. That's why his wealth exceeds all idols in history. It's not just money. It's a new definition of economic artistry. Every day that passes, Jungkook's name accumulates more value. Streams keep rising, archives keep growing, and new fans keep entering the cycle. His empire doesn't pause. It expands with silence, discipline, and precision. That's what makes Jungkook's wealth unrepeatable. It's not inherited, it's engineered. Not created by luck, but by mastery.